morning, church.
Good morning.
We'll start this morning with our scriptural reading. I will sing of mercy and judgment. Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. O when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. A froward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person, whose privily slandereth his neighbor. Him will I cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. And I have read to you from the 101st division of Psalms, verses 1 through 8. And may the Lord add a blessing to the reading and hearing of his word. Most Holy Father, we come to you this morning with bowed down heads. We want to thank you, Father, for forgiving us of our sins. And we want to thank and praise you today, Lord, because you're a good God. We want to thank you, Father, because you know our thoughts beforehand. We want to thank you because you let us know that you are the one and true God, and you said you would never leave us nor forsake us, and you would be with us until the end. You loved us so much, Father, that you gave your only begotten Son, so that we might have the gift of everlasting life. Father, when I look out at your creation, and even though we're in a week now when we got dismal skies, the sun is kind of peeking in and out every now and then, we know that we need to look to you, Lord, and just praise you. Praise you for your majestic works. Father, if I had 1,000 tongues, I truly couldn't thank you enough. Thanking you for life, health, and strength. Thanking you for the ability to communicate with my family. And not only my biological family, but the house of prayer family as well. You know, I thank you because you're instilling in me the ambition to want to do more to serve you. I thank you, Father, for allowing me the opportunity to talk with you, to pray to you, to tell you about what I'm doing in my life, because I know you already know it. But you want to hear from me, and I just thank you for that. I thank you that we're here today, Father, going through another one of these magnificent lessons, a learning lesson for all of us. And I thank you for using me, Father, and for using the other Sunday school teachers and the pastor and the members to share your word. Father, I ask today, as we go through your word, that you stir up the spirit within us. Stir it up, Father, so that we can just feel your grace and your mercy. In your Son Jesus' name, I give you the praise and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen.
And at this time, we will call Sister Winston up to share the word. And we thank God for her as well.
Praise the Lord, everybody. Truly, our lesson is talking about disciplinary. And we start off right away. God loves us because he wants us to do what's right. And so he tells us correction. God disciplinary love. Our lesson comes from Jonah 1, 7 through 17. The time is about 780 BC, and the place is Joppa. And our golden text, we're going to read it together. It starts at Joshua, the first chapter, in the 17th verse. The 17th verse, together. Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah 1:17.
Amen.
Truly, reading this, we see right away we got scriptures. And we're going to start with Sister Major. We're going to start with 2 verses, going from the major on up to the front to Dorothy, and each one taking 2.
Start at verse 7.
Yes.
And they said, everyone to his fellow, come and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon it. So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah. Then said they unto him, tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause is this evil upon us. What is thine occupation, and hence comest thou? What is thy country, and of what people art thou?
And he said unto them, I am an Hebrew, and I fear the Lord, the God of heaven, which hath made the sea and the dry land. Then were the men exceedingly afraid, and said unto him, why hast thou done this? For the men knew that he fled from the presence of the Lord, because he had told them.
Okay.
Then said they unto him, what shall we do unto thee, that the sea may be calm unto us? And the sea wrought, and was tempestuous. And he said unto them, take me up, and cast me forth into the sea. So shall the sea be calm unto you. For I know that for my sake this great tempest is upon you.
Okay, Sister Katie, will you take 13, 14?
Nevertheless, the men rowed hard and to bring it to the land, but they could not, for the sea rose and the tempest against them. Wherefore they cried unto the Lord and said, we breathe thee, O Lord, we breathe thee. Let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us and no consent, innocent blood, but thou, our God, hast done as it pleased thee.
Okay, Christine, verse 15.
15.
So, number 15.
Something.
So they
Took Jonah,
and
cast forth
into the
sea,
sea, and the
cease from
her
raging.
Brother Ridgeway, verse 16. Okay.
And the men feared at Lord. The men feared. Then the men feared the Lord extremely, exceedingly, and offered a sacrifice unto them to the Lord, and made vows.
Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights.
bless the reading of his word, sanctified in our hearts, that we don't sin against him. We come today, we are introduced to Jonah. In Jonah 1:1, it was stated that the word of the Lord came unto Jonah. He was the son of Amittai, and the Lord was about to give this prophet a commandment. Jonah's name means dove. And he mentioned this throughout the book, one of the Old Testament passages, and by the word of Jesus, that the word came to him from the Lord. Jonah prophesied during the reign of King Jeroboam, second of the northern kingdom of Israel, who had ruled during the 8th century. Many critics have questioned the validity of this book because a man being swallowed up in a fish, being released unharmed, is so incredible. Some people believe it's a parable. However, we must remember that our Lord himself spoke of Jonah as a real historical figure. When God speaks, that's what it is. You don't have to add nor take away, nor explain it. The Holy Spirit will explain it to you. A lot of times we get all mixed up trying to put it in our day and our words, and God has done it that it'll last forever. Just keep it exactly how he said. Here we see the message to Jonah was arise and go to Nineveh. That was a great city, and that city was usually when people prosper material-wise and knowledge, they think they're greater than God. Nineveh was very wicked. For some reason, when we get our knowledge, we don't go God's way, we go the world way. And here we see it was a lot of wickedness in this city. And God had called his prophet, Jonah. I went on further to find out Jonah's father was a prophet also. It pays to see where the person that's writing this book, God gave it to Jonah. God gave this here book to Jonah to write for us. And he used Jonah. And here we see, as he using, we find out this place, you got people the same way. They use this, their position to do whatever they want. But here we see Jonah. He loved the God. But see, listen to what happened. He started concentrating on how evil that person is. God ain't told us to judge nobody. But he told Jonah, go over there to Nineveh and give her my message. Here it tells us that Jonah Day, the capital was Assyria for Nineveh, and they was dreaded enemy. The Assyrian Empire, here they tell us, flaunted their power before God and the world with numerous acts of heartless cruelty. As a result, Jonah was suddenly confronted by the Lord, and he needed to go and tell what the Lord was saying, what he had against them. He told him, go to Nineveh, but he decided, I'm not going to give this message. And he made up in his mind. You can see he didn't take time to go back to the Lord. When we want to do what we want, we don't answer. But he made up his mind, I'm going to get on this ship and sail into Tarshish. And he said, I'm going to the southwest shore, and I'm going the opposite of what God told me. Don't we do that, y'all? When God tells us something, we do the opposite. And here you see that, just think about it now and put yourself in that place. That was a foolish mistake. Because you can't win when you go against God. But here it says that in his presence, he decided, I'm going to escape. And how can you escape from the Lord? That's something you need to keep in mind when you make a decision. God sees everything and he's everywhere. But Jonah didn't think about that. And he went the opposite way. And here it tells us, when he went the opposite way, he got on this boat. This boat was going the way he wanted to go. Said when he got on, a stormy sea arose. And it said this sea, the the way it was going, you could tell the Lord had produced it. Here you see how many times men try to control weather. No matter what they do, they can't control it. God said it's going to rain, going to rain. Yeah, he said it's going to rain 40 days, you can bet 40 days. He said 41 is going to be 41. Here, the sailors, they said, was used to sailing. They used to see in the storm, how it acts and all. But this was a terrible one. And it says that as the sailors went on, they started seeing how wretched they get. You know, when we get in trouble, we can start praying then. Well, they start praying to their God.
Okay,
Yeah. And they want to turn this here sea thing around. So they pray to God, but they ain't getting no answer. And then they realized there's somebody else on this ship. So when they realized that the other person on that ship was asleep, if you read your Bible, you'll remember some other things. Another ship was where it was just about to wreck, and there was a person asleep. It seemed like you could see that the word is confirmed. You know, things happen. People start calling on God. They say, hey, wake up here. And so, say, we need some help here. So the captain of the boat went to and wake him up. Said, we want you to pray to your God. Now, they said when 9/11 happened, everybody was telling, come on, pray, pray, come on. And the person wasn't praying, come on, pray. Well, here they wanted everybody. Come on, pray. Yeah. And the lesson said, man, he said, all the gods we don't call on don't seem like they're going to answer. Yeah, who is your God? Pray, let's pray to your God. And this is where our lesson started. It said that every one of his fellows come and let us cast lots. They saw it was a huge problem. They saw that after they talked with Jonah, and that here there was a continuation of the shipmaster in charge asking, Jonah, what meanest thou sleep? Rise, call upon your God. It's so that God would think upon us and we won't perish. So it was really terrible, y'all, what was happening. So he wanted some, he said, we ain't getting no results. It's getting worse and worse. When we get sick, trouble started happening. They did the right thing, turned to God, but they were turning to the wrong God. Now we got to remember when trouble happened, a huge problem, who we gonna turn to? Please don't do me like you did, Sister Brenda. Who we gonna turn to? Come on, y'all. Who we gonna turn to?
Only one. Only one.
You don't know nothing else. Get nothing else out of this lesson. That turn to, because I said, this is what we come here to study. If you don't know nobody else, you should know who your enemy is, and you should know who your help is. So here we see the irony, how the pagan sailors had to call on the prophet of God to pray for them. People go around, they be praying and carrying on. Said, but you'll know it when they get real, they seek the one God. Yes, for some reason.
Yes, indeed.
The backslider, he'll come back. Yeah, he'll be out there doing all his thing. He'll come back. How you got to hear. Unfortunately, too often we call on God just when trouble happens. Because our own sin, we end up where we at. Instead of realizing it's us, we try to find fault in someone else. After they discovered, they started talking about what was happening, Jonah wasn't afraid. Here it said, everyone, he said, let's cast lots. They ain't got no answer. Yeah. So we know who caused this evil. Well, when I heard about the cast lot, I thought about how people used to gamble. But see, God can direct anything to get the answer that you want. Yeah, He knows you. He knows what you know and what you don't. Here they say we're gonna determine by casting lot. They said these were little dots on there, on little blocks, and as they have now, they call them dice. They put them in a cup and shake them up and just throw them out. The Indians throw bones. You know, it says it's, you see, right away when trouble happens and people don't try all they can, and you see how evil we are. Instead of admitting we wrong, we always run and try to blame somebody else. But Jonah said, "It's me." Now they're gonna go and try to cast to see who it is. He already know. Most of the time when we doing things, you know what you're gonna get wrong. You know. This was a common pagan way. But also the Israelites used it. You go to Joshua 7:16. This method was infallible when used by unbelievers. But often God used it to reveal his will. Let's go to Proverbs 16:33. reads, "The lot is cast into the lap, but its every decision is from the Lord." Every decision. No matter what you do, God has a hand in it. Here it says, but God used it to reveal his will.
Amen.
His will. Normally, stones were used to cast lots. Most of their uses was in early period when very little of the Bible was available. See how blessed we are? Mm-hmm. We can go back. And when God apparently approved of this method for determining his will in Leviticus 16:7-10, different offices and functions in the temple also was determined by lot. The Christian church does not use lots to make decisions. Only once in the New Testament did the casting of lots happen with God's approval. That occurred with Matthew, when the disciples, when they was doing the disciples. This was to replace Judas, who had betrayed Jesus. Many times he allowed them to expose themselves by their behavior or a slip of the tongue. Whatever method God uses to expose one's sin, the truth that your sin will find you out, Number 32:23, is still valid. Whatever you do, it will show up. The sailors then, knowing that Jonah had cast this evil upon them, and the lot fell on Jonah. When they did the dice, it fell on them. Why? Because it was God's will. In other words, God oversaw the lot to make it indicate that Jonah was guilty. It's a good thing when difficult times come upon us to know why it is upon us, so that whatever causes it, we can correct it. Offenses have been corrected, maybe even removed. In order to do this, we must look to heaven and pray as Job did. I will say unto God, do not condemn me. Show me wherefore thou comfortest with me. That which I see not teach thou me. If I have done iniquity, I will do no more. So a lot of times we be saying, I don't know what I've done. I'm going through all this, but he said, who got all the answers? That's who we go back to. If I did something wrong, Lord, show me. And show me how to correct it. And we know he gonna left us a way that we can correct it. First we got to confess it.
Amen.
Everybody want to get help and they ain't confess it. You know, they go all around. Anybody else they can see. But Jonah didn't do that. So you know he was ready. He was ready to admit, okay, it's me. And so we also must ask God to help us. Here we see in this first part, talk about trouble. A huge problem. Here we talking about how they said, if you keep reading, it said, who are you? When you start talking to God, well, people want to know where you get that from? Here, he said, I am a Hebrew. That was standing out. And I fear the Lord. So it's important how you talk to, what you say when you say something. Yeah, he let them know, I fear the Lord, the God of heaven. They going to all these other gods. Let them know who you was, the one and true God. Here, he said to these men, the one that made the sea and the dry land. You got trouble with the sea? He made it. Somebody made it, know how to control it, right? Yeah, so something wrong with your body, you go back to God and he'll let you go to doctors and he'll work through them doctors. But you got to go back to the one that controls everything. He had a mind, thank you, Lord. He had a mind to go back to God and confess it. I'll first talk about when you have a huge problem. Don't run from God. Run to God. That don't mean you stop church. Stop praying. Give up, throw my hand. I don't know what to do. Go to your mouth. Prayerfully. Help me. I listened this morning. I said to Christine to get up. She's been going through something. But I could see the trouble riding. She can't breathe. I said, okay, Lord, what to do? He said, make her go in. If you don't get no better, then we'll do another. But go in. Get up. I don't want to go. I'm not feeling good. Usually when she said that, it usually be. But I said, come on, we go in. The devil said, yeah, remember before you took her, and before you get out of church, you passed right out on her. I said, what did she do? She in the hands of the Lord. Because you're going. You're going. Excuses don't come. They don't want to do it. They're going to think of some excuse. But you see here, Jonah didn't think of no excuse. He admitted, that's where you want to get help. You got to admit it. I need help. These children, we need help, y'all. It's just like Jonah running away. Our children are running away from the word.
Yes. Yes, Lord.
So here we talk about a huge problem. And it comes question. This, y'all start praying because see, this is a lesson that's stirring up the church to do what God wants to do with love. It ain't just that we ain't telling our kids and put them on punishment because we want to. It's because we love them. Yeah. God did this here. He allowed Jonah to do what he wanted to do.
Yes, he did.
But he let him know you made the wrong decision. We got to tell him you're making the wrong decision. Yeah. Huge problem. Huge problem. Yes.
And Jonah made the wrong decision when he decided to run. Because we know that we can't run from God. He is omnipresent and he is everywhere. So I don't care how much running Jonah thought he was going to do. He couldn't run out of the presence of the Lord. You know, disobedient, yes. Because as you said, the Lord told him to go one way. And he decided, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to go so far to maybe he won't never be able to reach out and touch me. But when I read these scriptures, it seemed like he was going down, down, down. You know, he was going down to Joppa. You know, he was heading in a downward spiral. And then he ended up down in the bottom of the boat. And he still couldn't hide from God. And we think we can hide too. But we can't, because he see all, he know all.
You got to realize too, when the problems start, it's going to start rolling. If you're trying to make the right decision. See, he admitted. So yeah, that didn't calm it down. It got really tempest. I mean, it got worse. So he said, on this here great ship, all these sailors, they don't got afraid. They was afraid. And they wondered, well, you know it's you. Why you doing this thing? You know, why you put me in this position? And so couldn't escape from the Lord of the universe. You go to the 139th Psalm, Division Psalm 9 and 10th verse. Jonah's fight seems senseless now that he don't realize that freedom from the God he came. We persisted in our sin. We show callousness, both to God and to the needy unbeliever. Somebody is watching you. Somebody is seeing what you're doing. You said you're a child of the King, and you're running from the answer. But God is the answer. And you standing up there. They said 9/11, all of them standing up there talking about, what they can do and everything when they hit everybody calling on God. Said, yeah, but those who live and tend to bless others, we got to remember it can be a curse when you don't know what to do and what is God's will. That's why it pays us to study. Here we see that the situation got frightened because it didn't calm down because they found out who it is. Yeah, it's not enough to just find out what you did wrong. It's time now to do something about it. So here, they started questioning. And he said, well, what? Now they want to know what's the answer. I've got this huge problem. We don't realize that what's the answer? And Jonah had the answer. Yeah, God gave it to him. He kept it. And the other time he was going to his own mind. But he said, cast me out. It's me. Cast me out. Cast me into the deep sea. And for your sake, because it's going to keep on. This here sea rolling like this, I'm coming telling you about who's created. God created the sea. And this here storm is from God. And I'm the one you got thrown out to calm it down. Yeah. We be telling people, go to the doctor. But tell them go to God first.
Amen.
Yeah. And it's because they kept on, praying, but when they start, people, like I said, watching it, when they start seeing their God didn't work, but as soon as this man started talking, things started making sense. Okay? We be telling our kids things that don't change just because the kids won't accept what you say. You keep saying what God said. Yeah, here it says, he kept saying, I gotta go to Nineveh. Sometimes people do you so bad, God said, help them anyway. He said, don't let nobody go home. Feed them. We be saying, the last food I gave to them, they throwing it out. Why would I give them? God said, take it to them again. You take it to them again, they said, I don't want this. But they hungry, they say. Yeah. You said, Lord, I took it. He said, take it to them again. You take it to them next time they eat it. They don't got down till they realize you ain't going to get nothing different than what this person brings. So you better take it and eat it. So here, they said that men start really rowing. Now, we don't want to do that. They had some humanity about themselves. They didn't want to just kill. So they said, let's roll. They really with the rolling. Like we always trying to figure out how we supposed to do. God still told them, what to do, but they, no, we don't. Well, but they said, as the men kept trying to get to land, all their skills, they know about ships, it was blocking them. So that, when it get worse, the fear get worse. If you don't turn to God, the fear just builds up. The fear is not of God. If you go to God, He'll cast that fear out. So it tells us that shocking resolution that He gave them was to throw him into the water. That they didn't know that this was God's will. Yeah, here we see they kept crying out, oh Lord, we beseech you, let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us the innocent blood. But thou, O Lord, hast done this. You see these settlers, now they was calling on different gods. Now they said, oh Lord. Yeah. 9/11 they was calling on Buddha and all that. Pretty soon you heard them say, oh God, Israel, Jacob, they be calling. I said, wow, Jonah they prayed and their action, you could see they was crying out. They saw what Jonah was, who he was praying to. That's why I said, people don't realize it, but what you do, God working through you for people to witness for him. You were standing there witnessing for God. And they don't saw him telling what it is and how it happened, and Lot came back to him. Evidence, this man knows somebody that can work it out. So here, they said, you know, we don't want to kill this man. They said, please, don't let us put this innocent. Here we see Yahweh has this already demonstrated how stubborn he was by how the episode went. God led Jonah to this ship, and he made the lot to fall on Jonah, and he had sent this on. Oh my God! Here the sea, it tells us that it kept on raging, and after a while, you know, the seamen, they said this fear had got them. They said that the fear had got so bad because, like I said, fear engulfed you. You know, it got so bad. I could imagine them in my mind saying, "Yeah, let's go ahead," because it ain't changing. I mean, oh, we gonna try everything, and here, no problem. It says for the pagan people of the ancient world, because they had killed people and like I said, ways you just couldn't explain, but they demand nothing less. You got to remember, God himself said he's a jealous God, and he will not share his glory with any other object of worship. And since we don't know for sure, it would be very interesting to know whether these sailors are willing to make such a commitment to God's Israel. But the things he did come out the same. Because see, people jump on the bandwagon for a while from the evidence they see, but then they're not really converted. They're not really want to be delivered. They just want to deliver for that second. That, like they say, everybody wouldn't follow Jesus because of who he was, but what they could get out of him. So here we see these sailors know they was in a predicament, and he traveled them to get worse and worse. And he suggested that he was the one, and they cast a lot, and it came on him. So he said, now throw him over. And I'm looking at this sea, and they said it gets dark and cloudy. That's the waves really hits, you know. I've never been there, but I think about other situations that I get in. And it said these sailors was crying out to Jonah's God now. And so they begged God not to punish them with him. You know, when somebody going through something, like they said, they be down there where that shooting was on Triple. I think girl said she was saying, "Oh Lord, let him miss me. Let them bullet." She said, "I was oh God, if I get out of this, I ain't going to another night spot." And they said she letting up in the hospital. She said, "I was asking God to let them bullets go by me. They was just flying everywhere." Well, sometimes you get in a predicament, you in the boat and you can't get out. You're in that situation with that person. But you can call on God and he'll give you an answer. Here we see talking about the second part, talking about how frightening the prospect is. That's what the devil do, send fear. So you can get you all stirred up, or else he'll give you one situation after another, and you wonder, what's going on? You don't know what God do. The second part, comment on talking about a frightened prospect. Yeah. Praise the Lord.
I like the way the story goes, because we see here that these men, their fear was just steadily increasing, you know. And like you said, they done prayed to all the different gods, all these different mariners on this boat, whoever they was worshiping. They was praying to them, and then they looked around and saw this one asleep down there. They woke him up. He said, "Come on, you need to come up here and pray to your God too." And then when they realized that this power
and all of this was behind the true and living God, then they started recognizing, and they said, "What? We got to do something to get this off of us." And they knew that this was an angry situation, you know, and they said, "We got to do something." And then Jonah tells them what to do, because he knew. Jonah knew that it was something he had done against God. And he told him, "Just take me up and throw me over. Just cast me over," you know. But then, like you said, they was afraid to do that because they didn't want to anger his God any further. But it's good that Jonah knew the answer, what would make them safe.
Amen. And so then we get down to the last of that verse. It said, "Then the men feared the Lord exceedingly and offered a sacrifice unto the Lord and made vows. Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights." Said, get down to the end of the lesson, and it's telling us about the frightening prospect. Here, right away, that verse stood out. God already, when you have a problem, he already got the solution right there. Yeah. He prepared before you even start going through what you're going through. And he ready for us. But we go the opposite way. But here it says, when they did what his will was, to throw him overboard, God prepared a fish. The Lord said, a great fish. Amen. That's all we need to know.
That's all.
Great fish.
That's all.
He prepared. He made sure it was the proper fish. He made sure it was going to have enough room for it. He made sure that that fish was going to obey him and do what he told him to do. Here God created this fish. Here he laid ready this fish. He was ready for Jonah when they threw him over. I just imagine that fish sitting there waiting. When you got a problem, God is waiting on you. That's what this showed me. He waited on you.
Wait.
Yeah, he's gracious. He spared that prophet life to let me know, no matter what situation you get in, God is ready for you to turn around right then and there. And he is willing to make it right for you. Here I like how it said, when he prepared it, the fish swallowed Jonah. Not to devour him, but to protect him.
Hallelujah.
When you got a problem, God got a solution for you. You ain't got to worry about him hurting you. He's doing it to protect you.
Right.
He never abandoned Jonah. That's what I like about him. He with you always. Even though we go the wrong way, Jonah was going the wrong way, he was still there.
Still there.
Here we see how people try to change this and say different things, what they believe is happening. But I said, stick what the Bible said.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that God is in control. And God acknowledge that what we're doing, we need to do things pleasing to him. It was an absolute submission to the God that they was learning about. Who we submit to when you come into a problem. Here, it let us know that was the resolution of what the problem, the answer to the problem, is submitting to God. I like how it came here telling us that even in your desperate situation, submit to God. The third part was a shocking resolution. Shocking. And we went on through showing that they was desperate. Went on through telling us that in this shocking resolution that we cannot say what all the different pagan religion they had, exclusive, but at the end, only one word. You could come up with a lot of ideas. And here we found out that God prepared for us, whatever we're going through. God has prepared. Jonah was in this belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. And they make us think about Jesus dying. We just had. And God provided. He controlled all kinds of elements. If you think about Jonah in that fish, it wasn't a miracle to get him into the fish, because man's been ate before. But the miracle was to preserve him inside. Yeah. And doing this, God showed you he controls everything. Another situation that he controls. Here, I like how we use that. You hear people saying, oh, it wasn't 3 days. You ain't God mind. He said, my mind is so high. So if he said 3 days, it's 3 days. You ain't got to figure nothing out. Say just what he said, 3 days.
3 days.
Hallelujah. His time is not our time. He the one made time. All right, come on now, y'all. And you can see what man trying to do. When you start trying to change word or explain why it's written like that, you're giving people reason to doubt. Oh, now they gonna go in there and try. No, God said 3 days he was there. Listen how, I like how it was saying here toward us, how God is so compassionate toward us, just like he was toward Jonah. How the text shows us that every detail of our life, God controls. He revealed his love for us because he let us know whatever you sow, you will reap. He also let us know when you do wrong, you need to be disciplined. Jonah was disciplined because of him going against God. Children, when you go against your parents, reach them out. That's going against God. When you go against it, you're going to suffer consequences. Yeah. Jonah didn't listen to God. He wanted to go his own way. So therefore, that's where he was disciplined. He had to go through that because of disobedience. Some things you don't have to go to. If he had just went on, did what God said, you know. But when you do wrong, disciplinary comes.
Sometimes we're not happy when people reject us, but God has a plan for our lives. And, you know, Jonah tried to be with them, and they tried to keep Jonah with them. They didn't want to throw him overboard, but it was for his destiny that they throw him overboard, and it's for their own safety. Because when we are in disobedience, we affect others. And when we're blessed, we affect others.
Oh, yeah.
I just, you know, I'm glad to know rejection is not always because people don't like you or don't want, you know, we have a carnal mind thinking, oh, they don't like me or whatever. But God has a plan, a purpose for you and a purpose for them.
And also, remember, I like how it said, when God disciplines us, it's supposed to bring us back to him, to restore us. And so that's important.
I just wanted to know, did Jonah want to die because he ran from God, or because he had saved the Ninevites, or was it that he wanted?
He didn't save the Ninevites. He was supposed to take a message to them, but he was saying this was the solution. In other words, nobody wants to die, but this is the solution. He just gave what God gave him. This is the solution. I am the problem. And God gave him what he was supposed to do. It was in the will of God. So God had gave him that will in his mind. That's what what has to be done. If God hadn't been in God's will, they couldn't have did it. It was in God's will. Yeah. First thing we try to do is get out of it, but he didn't. Anyone else?
Yes, I was wondering about, you know, like that fish is awfully big, you know, and I'm thinking, God put him there or trying to kill him, but he wasn't trying to kill him. It wasn't for punishment. That was just to save his life. Out in that water, I mean, he put in that fish, and I'm mad at trying to get out of that water 3 days and 3 nights, but he fixed that fish where it could be in him.
His will, God's
It
will.
wasn't a punishment.
No, like I said, it was a punishment because he disobeyed. He disobeyed. Punishment comes, but he did it.
He saved him from drowning, that's what it was, really.
Got going in the fish, saving him down, but it was his punishment. If you're gonna get consequences, bring on punishment.
See, the fish was not a punishment, but means of rescuing Jonah from the
And the fish was for to protect him, but he going through that, it was a punishment. Yeah, you're gonna get, that's the consequence of disobedience. Yeah, you got to reap what you sow. You're gonna have our signature.
Praise the Lord. God's disciplinary love. And when we do wrong, we will be disciplined.
Yes.
But God disciplined Jonah in love. Jonah tried to run. But God's love for him was too great for escape. And he sought him out and gave him another chance to obey. And you know, the good thing about that, God is so loving and merciful that he gave Jonah another chance to do the right thing.
That's right.
Because his mission was to go and preach to the Ninevites.
That's right. That's right.
And these people, the Assyrians, were so brutal. And Jonah had been up in the northern kingdom, and he knew what the Assyrians were like. They were brutal. Their armies, when they came in, they just came in vicious and destroyed everything. And so Jonah was chosen to go and preach to these pagan people. And he said, no. No. And he ran from his call like so many of us do. You know, when we're called to do things, we try to run. But if God really has a plan for us, we cannot run from it. We cannot. So it wasn't just for Jonah, it was for the Ninevites. He wanted those people, he said, go and preach repentance. Give them a chance to turn their life over to the Lord. See, so it was twofold. Protecting Jonah and making sure Jonah do what he's supposed to do. And give that message to these people so they can have the opportunity to turn. It didn't last long, but that was God's plan. And he wasn't going to let Jonah alone until he did what he told him to do. Sister Winston.
You can run, but you can't hide.
You can't hide. And you know what the good news? Jonah knew it was him. And he said, throw me over.
That's right.
Why should all of you on this boat perish because of me? That's why he told him, take me, throw me.
Yeah, throw me,
I don't know if it was said before, but Jonah is like a lot of people. He don't want to see people blessed. You know, when you're in a certain circle, sometimes people, you know, they feel like, why do you deserve it, you know? But God loves everybody. Everybody has the right to come to him. But Jonah did not want to see them people saved.
He didn't.
He was mad.
He really didn't. He said these brutal
He
people.
knew that God would forgive them if they repented, and he did not want God to
That's
forgive
right.
them.
And you know what? He didn't want to see them saved. But those same people on the boat,
That's what was the point.
you see what I mean? They sacrificed for one man when he would go down to that nation. all those people. And their heart was so different from his, because remember I said they were brutal people. But these people had so much concern for him that even when he said, throw me over, they didn't want to. They rowed and they rowed with everything they had, trying to turn that boat back to land. But they couldn't do it, because God said no. No.
He said no, you mean no.
They tried. They didn't want to throw him over. They didn't want that on them. And then they prayed. And they said, God, please, we got to throw him over. Said, but don't hold that against us. You know, where they was praying to their gods, God turned it around. They started acknowledging him.
That's right.
It doesn't say whether they stayed with the one and true God. But during that time, they prayed to him because they realized that Jonah's God was more powerful than anything they thought they had. And they prayed, hey, they made a vow, they made a sacrifice, they did everything to the true and living God because they saw the power that he had.
I was going to point that out. If you notice in the text, the word Lord, when they say pray to the Lord or pray to God, the word Lord was all caps. So therefore, they called on the name of the Lord, not God, but they called on the name of the Lord.
That's right.
And that's one of the things that the translators in the Bible, when you see that Lord all caps, that's a specific name. That is a specific name.
And in verse 9 it says, and he said unto them, when they were questioning him at verse 8, I am an Hebrew, and I fear the Lord, the God of heaven. He made it specifically known, the God of heaven, which have made the sea and the dry land. And then that took me to Acts chapter 17, verse 24, which says, God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, Lord of heaven and earth, and dwelleth not in temples made with hands. I'm telling you, they could see that this God that Jonah was serving was a powerful God. And then here it says, disobedience to God will bring his discipline.
That's right.
Even in the midst of discipline, God can use someone as his witness to others. God used Jonah to turn those sailors from calling on false gods to worshiping the one true God. God is absolutely sovereign over all his creation and uses it for his purposes. He caused the storm to discipline Jonah, and he caused it to cease in order to save the sailors. He even sent a fish to swallow and preserve Jonah while he was in the sea for 3 days. Everything was in place. That big fish was right there at the right time. But God made it so. So when they threw him over, he landed right in the fish. God is a good God. And with that, if there's no further questions, keep studying. We're going to be in the book of Jonah for a little bit. So let's get ready for next week. And y'all come on and say something. Participate in the lesson.